Hey everyone! Can you imagine the excitement of kids waiting for their weekly video call with their dad? That was our reality. My name is Sarah, and my two boys, Lucas and Noah, would light up every time we connected with their dad, Adam, who was working halfway across the globe. Those calls were like a lifeline, a precious moment to bridge the distance. I always thought that once Adam's job overseas wrapped up, we'd be a happy family of four again, living under one roof, sharing laughter and love. But life, as you'll soon hear, had other plans. Adam and I had a love story that felt like it was pulled straight from a fairy tale. We met in high school, fell head over heels, and got married right after college. For the first 5 years of our marriage, everything was picture perfect. We welcomed our two incredible boys, Lucas and Noah, into the world, and Adam's career was soaring. He was ambitious, driven, and always provided for us. But then, his company offered him a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, a project abroad that promised growth and success. It meant leaving me to raise our sons alone, with only the support of my wonderful parents. It wasn't easy, balancing motherhood and the loneliness of his absence, but I managed, always holding on to the hope of our family reuniting. That night, like every week, we gathered for our cherished video call with Adam. The kids were buzzing with excitement, their eyes sparkling as they waited to see their dad's face on the screen. My parents joined us, turning the call into a mini family event, filled with warmth and anticipation. I couldn't help but smile as Lucas and Noah bounced in their seats, eager to share every detail of their week. But beneath my smile, I was yearning for a moment alone with Adam. I needed to talk about my struggles, the weight of parenting solo, and our dreams for the future, conversations too heavy for the kids to hear. Hey, how are you kids? Have you been behaving? Adam's voice came through the screen, his face lighting up with that familiar, contagious smile. The boys erupted into chatter, telling him about school, soccer games, and their latest adventures. Lucas couldn't stop talking about swimming 25 yards all by himself, while Noah proudly shared that his teacher had praised his latest project. Adam looked happy, healthy, and full of life, just like always. My parents watched, their faces glowing with pride at the lively conversation. For a moment, it felt like everything was perfect, like we were a complete, happy family. Despite the miles between US.as the call went on, the kids started to get sleepy, their eyelids drooping from the late hour. The time difference made these calls tricky, but they'd taken naps earlier just to stay up for their dad. Who's putting the kids to bed? You two can talk alone for a bit, my parents said kindly, ushering Lucas and Noah upstairs. I was so grateful for their support. It meant the world to have a moment to connect with Adam one-on-one. We spent the next half hour catching up. Lucas swam 25 yards on his own the other day. He's been so excited about swimming lately, I told him, my voice full of pride. And Noah's doing great in school. His teacher even praised his creativity. Adam nodded, his eyes warm with affection. I'm so proud of them, he said. I took a deep breath, gathering my courage. I've been thinking a lot lately, Adam. Thanks to your job, we're doing well financially, but the boys are growing up so fast. I wish they could spend more time with you during these important years. It's hard doing this alone. I know, Sarah. It's not easy, Adam replied, his tone reassuring. This project is critical for my career, but once it's done, things will get easier. I'll have more time for you and the kids. Let's hang in there for them, okay? His words gave me hope, and we kept chatting. I shared funny stories about my friends, and he told me about his day. It felt good, like we were reconnecting. But soon, exhaustion hit me hard. I'm so sorry, Adam. I'm wiped out, I said, yawning. I've got an early morning tomorrow, so I'm heading to bed. I thought I'd ended the call, but in my sleepy haze, I only turned off the camera and speaker. The call was still connected, and I didn't realize it. Feeling content after our conversation, I thanked my parents for putting the kids to bed. Let's all get some rest. Good night, I said, ready to head upstairs. But as I stood up, I heard Adam's cheerful voice through the computer. All right, family call's done. Hey, you can come over now. My heart stopped. Was the call still on? Who was he talking to? Adam had mentioned earlier that he needed to visit the project site for an inspection, so I told myself it was probably just a coworker. But his tone, so sweet, so overly excited, sent a chill down my spine. The sleepiness I felt vanished instantly. Something didn't feel right. Against my better judgment, I hit the record button on the screen, just in case. My parents, still nearby, looked uneasy. "He can't hear us now, can he?" my mom asked in a hushed voice. "No, the camera and microphone are off," I replied, my stomach twisting with doubt. My dad frowned. "This isn't right, Sarah. You should have ended the call properly." But I insisted, just a little longer until he leaves for work. "I just want to see what's going on." Reluctantly, they stayed with me, our eyes glued to the screen. Adam left the room to take a shower, leaving the bed visible in the background. About 15 minutes later, we heard the doorbell ring. "Hold on, I'm coming," Adam's cheerful voice called out. I tried to convince myself it was nothing unusual, maybe a colleague picking him up for work. But that upbeat tone still gnawed at me. Then, the unimaginable happened. Adam walked out of the bathroom in a bathrobe, and moments later, a young woman, probably in her 20s, appeared on the screen. She walked into the room and wrapped her arm around Adam's waist. My world shattered in that instant. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. "This is it, isn't it?" I whispered, my voice trembling. My parents sat in stunned silence, their faces mirroring my shock. I wanted to scream, but my throat felt tight and no words came out. "I'm going to confront him," I said, my voice shaking with anger and heartbreak. "I need to deal with this, or I'll never calm down." My dad's face was red with fury. "For now, stay quiet so we can record this as evidence," he said, his voice firm. "But I'll make sure he's held accountable." On the screen, the woman was kissing and laughing with Adam. I felt like the biggest fool. How had I not seen this coming? "I wish we could go on another trip like last time," she said, showing him pictures on her phone. "Don't worry," Adam replied casually. "I've arranged for my paycheck to be split into separate accounts. Sarah doesn't know how much I make, and I manage all the family savings, so she won't notice if I spend some." My heart sank further. While I was at home, pouring my heart into raising our kids, he was off enjoying vacations with her, vacations to a place I'd dreamed of visiting with him someday. Then, they did the unthinkable, right there on the screen. I felt sick to my stomach, but I couldn't look away. "You don't need to watch this, Sarah," my dad said gently. "It's not good for you." But I shook my head. "I'll have to see it later as evidence. I might as well get through it now." When they were done and the woman was getting ready to leave, I quietly turned off the computer. It was 3 a.m. and we were all overwhelmed, our emotions raw and heavy. We went to our rooms, but sleep was impossible. My body felt heavy, my mind spinning with questions. Who is that woman? Why did this happen? How could Adam betray us like this? My heart raced, a mix of sadness, anger, and heartbreak threatening to consume me. I tried to calm myself by focusing on my breathing, but the pain was relentless. Morning arrived, and Lucas noticed my exhaustion. "Mom, you don't look so good," he said, his little face full of worry. "Sorry, I was up late talking to your dad," I lied, forcing a smile. "I didn't get much sleep." My dad stepped in. "I'll drop the kids off today. Feel better, Sarah." Their sweet, innocent words nearly broke me, but I held back my tears and waved them off. After drinking some water, I collapsed into bed, my mind a mess. Adam was set to come home in 2 months, and I knew I had to be ready. I had to protect my kids and plan for what was coming. With that resolve, I fell into a deep, exhausted sleep. When I woke up, Lucas was shaking me. "Mom, wake up. Grandpa got us pizza for dinner." I dragged myself to the dining room, where Noah looked at me with concern. "Are you feeling better, Mom?" he asked. "Yes, I'm feeling much better now that I see you too," I said, tickling them to lighten the mood. Their giggles filled the room, easing my parents' worry for a moment. "You can't face a battle on an empty stomach," my dad said, handing me a slice of pizza. As I ate, I began mapping out my next steps. First, I needed to find out who the woman was. Then, I'd consult a lawyer to handle the legal side: divorce, custody, alimony, everything. It felt overwhelming, but I knew it was the only way forward. That night, after putting the kids to bed, I called my parents into the living room. About yesterday, I began, my voice steady. There's no point dwelling on it. If I didn't have the kids, I might have hesitated, but thinking about them gives me focus. I need your help. My dad nodded. Of course. While you were sleeping, I called a lawyer I know. He helped a friend who went through something similar. My mom's eyes burned with determination. I trusted Adam so much, but he betrayed us. I won't feel right unless we do something about this. Her resolve strengthened mine. I made an appointment with the lawyer for this weekend, my dad added. I'll watch the kids, my mom offered. With their support, I felt ready to face the fight ahead. The next day, we got to work. With 2 months until Adam's return, we had to move quickly. I scoured social media and quickly found the woman. She was a secretary at one of Adam's company's overseas branches. Armed with this information, I went to his company and met with his boss. I need your help, I said, showing him the recorded video. His face fell, and he put his hands on his head. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I'll talk to my supervisor and take the necessary steps, he promised. Next, I met with the lawyer, laying out the video evidence, bank statements, and the woman's contact information. This is more than enough, he reassured me. The divorce, alimony, and custody arrangements are almost set. Don't worry. I also reached out to Adam's family. At first, they accused me of lying to get alimony, but when I showed them the video, they fell silent and apologized. We're so sorry, Sarah. We'll do everything we can to help, they said, their voices heavy with shame. The hardest part was telling Lucas and Noah. I didn't want to lie and give them false hope that Adam would return as the dad they knew. Sitting them down, I said, your dad lied to me in a way that's very hurtful. I'm so sad, and I can't live with him anymore. When he comes back, I know you'll miss him, but will you stay with me? They didn't fully understand, but they nodded, saying they wanted to be with me. Tears streamed down my face as I hugged them. I'm so sorry, I whispered. The day Adam returned, I arranged a welcome home dinner at a restaurant, but it was a setup. I waited with my parents, and his boss. When Adam walked in, my father-in-law, barely containing his anger, asked, Is there anything you want to tell us? Adam looked confused. What's going on? Boss, all of you, what is this? I slammed the divorce papers, alimony charges, and a letter from his company on the table. There's no point hiding it anymore. All I need is your signature, I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. Adam froze, stunned, as his parents began yelling at him. I told him to speak to my lawyer and walked out with my parents, leaving him to face the consequences. His messages flooded in afterward. I want to start over, Sarah. I was wrong. I love you with all my heart. Please forgive me. I replied coldly, go through my lawyer, and blocked him. He tried showing up at my house, even approaching my parents in a strange, overly friendly way, but I called the police when he wouldn't leave. My parents and friends cut him off completely, and I made sure everyone knew the truth. Adam's life unraveled quickly. He was charged with assault and battery after an altercation when the police were called, landing him in the National Criminal Database. At the court hearing, he asked to see the kids once a month. Does he really think he has the right? I asked the lawyer. Adam went silent. The court granted him limited visits, but only if the kids requested it and I was present. Over time, as Lucas and Noah grew older and learned the truth, they wanted to see him less and less. Adam lost everything: his family, his parents' support, and eventually his job. He struggled to pay alimony, working part-time jobs, while his parents stepped in to cover child support as an apology to their grandchildren. The savings he'd hidden and the salary he lied about worked against him, forcing him to pay a significant portion of the alimony. He even broke up with his mistress, unable to sustain the life he'd built on lies. As for me, I took the alimony money and invested it wisely in stocks, building a secure future for my kids. I sent Lucas and Noah to college without any financial strain, and now that they're independent, I've carved out a peaceful life for myself. I bought a small house in the countryside, surrounded by nature, fresh air, and a warm community. It's not as convenient as the city, but it's perfect for me. My sons visit with their families during summer vacations, and I cherish every moment with my adorable grandchildren. Looking back, the journey from that devastating night to where I am now feels like a whirlwind. From the moment I discovered Adam's betrayal to the day the divorce was finalized, everything happened so fast. But honestly, I don't feel sympathy or sadness for him anymore. He made his choices, and I've made mine. Every day, I remind myself to never take this happiness for granted, the love of my family, the laughter of my grandchildren, and the tranquility of my countryside home. This is my new beginning, and I'm grateful for every second of it. Please feel free to comment below if you liked this. Remember to like and subscribers for more.